an event has changed your life when you start thinking of your life as two separate parts, before the event and after the event. In my lifetime, I have moved 6 times, have become an older sister, and have gotten a family dog. But none of these events are the one that split my life apart. Rather, the event that most drastically affected my life occurred just over a year ago. At the end of November last year, my mother, Claire Langlois, and I started a company together called Aurelie's Healthy Cuisine, Inc. We started that company to publish the Healthfully Good cookbook, which, like Renee said, was a healthy eating cookbook that I spent the previous 3 years writing. This entrepreneurial venture is the event that changed my life. It allowed me to express myself creatively, break out of my shell, and learn important life and business skills. My cookbook project started out simply enough. Like many projects, it wasn't undertaken as an entrepreneurial project at first. Rather, my cookbook's humble beginnings can be traced back to when I was 11. And I would beg to eat my favorite food at the time, which was pasta with marinara sauce, every night for dinner. And my parents got fed up, and they told me, well, okay, they challenged me to make a meal once a week so I could sort of, and the deal was, if you make dinner once a week, you can make pasta if you want. So they weren't sure I would follow through, but I did, more or less, for the following months. But then when I was 12, my cooking passion took a new route, and it turned into a healthy cooking passion. So at the time, my family started leaning towards vegetarianism, and I began to research the subject, and I learned more about good nutrition. Our family already ate relatively well, but after learning about all the disease prevention and all the health benefits that eating well could offer, I decided to take it up a notch. So I set off experimenting with whole grain, free of added sugar, legume-rich, vegetable-rich, and fruit-rich cuisine. I tried making everything. So I made homemade bread, pasta, soups, stews, desserts, granola, pasta sauces, tortillas, and pitas, etc. So some experiments worked out well, and some didn't work out so well. But the things that worked out well, I would type them up on a document on my computer and save it for future personal reference, mostly. Cooking was my passion, and it was sort of a haven from stress caused by a recent move. My time in the kitchen increased drastically by the time I was 12, 13, and I got over my pasta obsession, and I started to become more creative in the kitchen, and eventually I had created over 100 different recipes. So that was the turning point that made my hobby become a business. So, sitting at my computer, looking at all those recipes, I thought, why not make a cookbook? I thought, surely others would find this type of cuisine helpful, especially with all the lifestyle caused diseases that are prevalent in North America. So it did start off as a short-term project. In fact, in the beginning, I didn't plan on finishing the cookbook within the next 10 years. It was really a long-term thing, just for fun. But things went so smoothly once I jumped into the project that I eventually started fixing much shorter deadlines. Driven by passion, I woke up early each morning before school for an entire year just to carve out more time to work on the cookbook. I whittled down my recipes, I wrote an introductory chapter on cooking, I took pictures, I put together indexes and glossaries for the book. I was fortunate also to get help from others. Nadine Cormier, a graphic designer, helped by designing the book's layout and cover. Colleen Laundrie, an English teacher in Moncton, helped by drawing illustrations, helped by editing the book, and Claire Langlois, my mother, helped by drawing illustrations and by offering feedback and encouragement. And naturally, my entire family helped by recipe testing and offering support. These people taught me a lot about helping others and not giving up. Finally, in November of last year, the cookbook was ready to go to press. We received the cookbooks from the printer just a week before Christmas, and the first few days of sales, the cookbooks were snapped up like hotcakes, despite the fact that they weren't yet in stores. It was like people anticipated the future success of the cookbook. When it came to January and February, the business sort of hit a wall. My book was then available at several local stores, but the time of year and the economic crisis took their toll on sales. We, and I say we because my mother was very involved at this stage, didn't give up, but we kept going. Book signings, events, the construction of a website, and experiences with the public equipped me with skills for the future. I had to learn to stop being so shy and to start being bolder. During the summer, though, things started to pick up speed. My cookbook became the first cookbook approved by Simply for Life. My mother and I took a business course and we made some contacts. A distributor accepted to distribute my book on a regional level. And one of the restaurants at the Delta Beau Séjour even allowed me to help create a vegetarian item for their 100-mile menu. So we were encouraged by that, and we started to plan a national book launch. During the hours spent indoors during the summer, planning a book tour, we wondered if we were planning some sort of deranged trip. But we went through with it, and during early August, we visited Halifax, Quebec, Montreal, and Toronto. The cookbook and I appeared on several media during that trip. The trip went really well. It was like a dream, and when we got back, we got some exciting news. So apparently, on a Monday evening in August, the buyer in charge of buying books for Coles, Chapters, and Indigo was sitting at home watching television, and she was watching CTV Toronto's News at 6, and that same evening, a clip on my cookbook and me was being shown on that program, and she saw it, and she later contacted our distributor and asked for the book to become a national title at Chapters, Indigo, and Coles. So in September, the cookbook made its way into those stores, and needless to say, we were ecstatic over that. So, despite this exciting news, my cookbook still hasn't gone from a local book to a national bestseller, but we're keeping it up, and I still have a lot of tough times to go through, a lot of experience to gain, and a lot of hard work to do. But I think that the lessons that business has taught me so far were valuable. I discovered what I wanted to do when I was grown up. I became familiar with the value of hard work. I became more outgoing, or so I like to think. And I learned a lot about marketing, sales, and production. Unfortunately, I also learned more about accounting than I ever wanted to know. Finally, I am very grateful for my experience in business. I want to thank all the people who've helped me out and encouraged me along the way. I really appreciate that. Thanks to them, I am now pursuing new entrepreneurial projects. I write a recipe column for the New Body newsletter and for infosante.ca. And I continue to create new recipes for a future project. Recently, I even created an online catalog of Atlantic Canadian gifts, and that catalog is serving as a fundraiser for the Moncton Badminton Club and is a new part of Aurelie's Healthy Cuisine, Inc. I hope to continue expanding Aurelie's Healthy Cuisine, Inc. and to study nutrition and to have more great experiences in business during the following years. Thank you for being such a great audience tonight. I really appreciate it. appreciate it. And thank you to the Women's Business Club for inviting me today.